Yeah, the returning officer right there in Plateau State, now beginning the final filling of the form, from which he is going to announce the final results. But the results have already been announced, but we want that declaration made by INEC as to who then emerges the winner of this election. We understand that the APC candidate, that's the incumbent governor, Solomon Lalong, has polled 595,582 votes as against the PDP candidate, Jeremiah Hussaini, who polled 546,813 votes. And we understand also, as said by the returning officer, that this is going to be by simple majority. But let's take you back to what update we have from Sokoto. In Sokoto, 20 results from 20 local governments have been announced. The APC, according to our correspondent, the APC has won 13 of those local governments, and the PDP has won 7 of the 20. There are 2 outstanding local governments from which results are being expected to be collated, and we are right here. We're going to bring you up to speed as those unfold. But gentlemen, that's how it's been in Plateau State. We're expecting the winner to be announced by simple majority in about half an hour.
Are you surprised that their projected votes were just 16,138 and said there were no cancelled votes?
Yeah, I'm even surprised that, you know, the initial report I got during the first, March 9 election was that the PDP candidate was leading almost all the, before the thing was postponed.
But that's then. This is now. A lot can happen in 1 week.
Yeah, I think from what they said, it's a novel thing to say there are no cancellations, though it's commendable, because I don't think you can go to the tribunal on the basis that, oh, I'm angry, there were no cancellations. Because they will ask you, did you go to the election with the intention that there will be cancellations? You went for the election with the hope of winning. So if there was no cancellation, oh, bravo. I mean, that's commendable to those who conducted the exercise. If there was no cancellation.
16,000 rejected votes.
So, and even at that, all with the complaint, if you look at the margin, like we said, even though it hasn't been announced, and I don't think we should be pronouncing on that, but it appears that even if the 16,000 votes were added to, will this substantially affect the outcome?
Yeah, because there appears to be about 50,000 difference between the leading.
And we're forbidden from commenting on that based on the INEC rules until they announce the actual figures and they've declared the person.
No, we're not announcing the winner. We're just observing the gap between.
Yes.
You know, that's following up to the 16,000 that you're talking about.
Yes, you know, we see a lot of drama at times. This same thing. It won't be surprised maybe the next minute, 5-10 minutes, they will say anything has happened, there's cancellation again. So that's why we wait till I'm not trying to impeach anyone or make a mockery of, you know, but we'll wait till the very last minute for us to know who our governor is in that state. The 30 minutes they've given us.
Again, how encouraging is it? How discouraging it is? Is it 1,176,142, the number of voters?
It's encouraging.
In total?
Yeah, it's encouraging.
Is it?
Yes. Well, for population of Plateau State, the percentage of registered voters is against those that actually cast their votes. You know, the margin is narrow. That means that the parties did a lot of work to mobilize people to come out and vote. So it's commendable. You can't achieve 100%. You know, in any polling units, you don't achieve 100%. Yes.
What I would just say is right from the moment the elections were postponed, it caused so much damage to the fabric of the entire election itself. At that moment, some people had made up their mind across the federation. It's not limited to a particular state. I don't want to, you understand, I'm not going out to do it.
Even though it sounds reasonable, but does it make sense to take that position? Because again,
it's not even reasonable. I don't agree. It doesn't even sound reasonable. But it is like it's a function of a frustration.
No, because you see, again, experts would say, don't waste people's time.
Yes.
You know, people's time
is money.
People's time. Election observers, foreign election observers know how much extra they've had to pay. Who pays for that? Many people, out of enthusiasm, decided to go back to their villages to vote, but they got their hands burnt. You know, so
I was a victim of that.
Again,
and nobody paid my flight tickets. I ended up spending you know, 1 week. I said, why fly in and fly out, and it cost me money.
I mean,
I just shifted my
for someone who has flown, whatever that's worth, that's 100,000 naira.
Yes.
That's an average of 100,000 naira. In a country where the government is struggling to pay 30,000 naira minimum wage, it's a humongous loss to people. Yes. So I don't think it's even right to say it's not a reasonable position. You can't waste my time here.
No, even then, you know, the announcement was made.
It's like
2 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. The time was bad.
I woke up
in bad faith.
Yeah, I woke up in the morning trying to dress up to go to cast my vote, and they said election. I said, what? You know, they disorganized my day. All the no. If I were INEC, I wouldn't. We have to do something about these elections. People lose a lot when they go out to vote.
No, I've said it. Who regulates the regulator?
So it goes back to legislation.
Yeah, because just like I said, independence, but that independence too needs to be trimmed one way. There has to be somebody who has oversight functions. The legislature technically should have, but they say who comes to equity must come with clean hands. But because their hands are soiled most of the time, they are not able to put INEC into place because they want to profit from the lapses that INEC has. So it's not in their best interest really to fix it, most of them. And that's where he brought in the issue of part-time. But the part-time, to be surprised that in Nigeria, you won't find anybody. In less than 2 days, you reverse that position, you make it back full-time. Because if there's nothing attractive there, it's just going to be the ball I get in, sit down, look. Like when they're ready, they'll call us back.
No, but again, if you make it you still find people who will be willing to put themselves to serve.
How many people will you find?
No, I'm ready to serve. I know you're ready to serve.
Man is a product of his
environment. Part-time.
Yeah, I'm ready to serve part-time. Are you ready to serve? Are you not ready to serve part-time?
I don't want to answer that question because I'm not a politician.
No, you are a politician. You are the problem. Those of you that say you're not politicians, you're the problem.
Why is it the problem?
I'm not. You're the problem.
Why?
Because one is that they're saying that society, when the good people in the society fold their hands, evil take over.
Again,
when they don't do anything, the good people like Sonny here is saying that he's not a politician.
And the society, politics is played in Nigeria.
No, and the society forget about politics being too dirty and all that. It is you, because we don't have enough good people, critical mass of good people going in. The mistake was made in 1999 when some of us in Nadeco and all that, we couldn't finish the job. We just got the military to promise that they were going to handle, but we did not believe them. And then these characters now went in, took the risk, and hijacked the thing, and shut the gate against us.
All right, but hold on.
And we cannot even get in now. It's because we're still making the same mistake now.
But wait. Do good people make good government?
Of course.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No. Of course, good people in the sense that those who are willing to serve, who have some vision.
In his case, I don't think he has that vision.
No, he can participate. One thing in politics.
I think I just said it very
Sonny,
in as plain a manner as possible. Politics is played in Nigeria. Can never appeal to me.
The point I want
but that means you can't play politics anywhere.
I'm not willing.
No, but the thing is
no.
You can play politics.
Yes.
It doesn't playing politics doesn't mean that you go for elective position. You can support a candidate. You're playing politics. You can cast your vote. You're playing politics. You can support with your money. You can sponsor me to become whatever I want to become. You are playing politics. Do you understand? If you cannot go, later, everybody, you know, the mistake we make is that we don't find our own calling. Politics is like a calling. You find your position, your place in politics. But some people, you know, they experience frustration because they are going into a place that is not their own. Everybody has a space in politics. Olumide, you're also playing politics, you're reporting through your job. You're doing a fine job and all that. Kayode, you too. You're playing politics through your job. So it's not that when
journalism.
Yes.
We practice journalism,
yes.
not politics. We report politics. We don't play politics. That's just our job.
But that's your calling in that space. You have found your space in politics.
We report politics. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's backtrack a bit and let's discuss the issue of involvement of security, the security apparatus. Yes. 15 IGPs were deployed.
DIGs.
DIGs.
5 DIGs.
5 DIGs and 15 commissioners
yes.
of police. And then we saw that a crowd of whether light or heavy weapons wielding young people were moving across streets unchallenged for minutes, in some cases running into an hour. What's the essence of these deployments?
Well, I think, first of all, we need to know one thing. For every game, there's a rule. There is no game, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, whether it's anything, even chess, there must always be rules in any game, and the rules that refer. Where there are no rules, it's lawless. Anything.
But we have rules, don't we?
No, hold on. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, I mentioned this earlier. It's not about deploying the security apparatus. What are the rules of engagement? If the rules of engagement are not there, that means you are playing to the gallery. Okay, for instance, like I said, when I mentioned it the other time, I was really happy when I read that, okay, this time around the IG told them that, yes, be steadfast, be patriotic, be neutral, be professional, but be firm. Oh, I said yes, for the first time, they have their rules of engagement. But what are we seeing all over the place? Nothing has changed. They've learned nothing, they've forgotten nothing. So all that means, am I going to say the IG was playing to the guy? But the point I'm saying is, at the point in time they are deploying these people, have they made it clear to them that they are subject to these people they are deploying them to? Because it's a chain of command thing.
All right, we'll come back to that. Okay. It appears that we have an update from our correspondent in Sokoto State, Kayla Megwa. Kayla, what's new?
Hi, okay, so the collation officer for Sokoto State has just announced that the collation will be adjourned till 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now we have one more local government area to go, that's Kebe local government area, and that particular local government, they're not here yet. They've not brought the figures in yet. So she says till 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So some people are gearing up to spend the night here. Some are going to leave and come back, but 9 a.m. tomorrow, the collation will continue, and hopefully a winner will be announced. This is very drawn-out election to find the governor for Sokoto State.
Well, I didn't know what to call that. So when flying, it's called the jet lagging. But it appears that you're election lagging now. It's morning already. It appears very seamless for you. So it appears that it's going to be another day. No, it's later today. But then, what are the people around there saying about having to wait for one more local government area?
I think basically people are just glad that we will actually see an end, because the last time we were here till about 4 a.m. when the gubernatorial elections happened, we were here till this same hall, this Sultan Machido Hall, Sultan Machido School of Islamic Studies, the Sultan Machido School of Islamic Studies. And we were here till about 4 a.m. And it was at 4 a.m. that the collation officer announced that the results were inconclusive. So that was pretty disappointing. So it's one more local government area, I think. And I feel people are thinking, all right, so maybe one more, and we will actually see a winner to this particular election in Sokoto State. So it's a bit of a relief. People are disappointed, but when she made the announcement, a lot of people raised their voices. You know, they weren't very happy about that. But of course, you have no choice. You have to wait until those results come in. So that's the situation here.
Yeah, one out of 20 or 22, I can't remember the figures now, but we know that sometimes one local government could be a swing local government. How much impact is that result that is being expected likely to have on the eventual outcome of the elections?
You hit the nail on the head when you said that, because the particular local government area that has been awaited is Kebe. And Kebe has been one of the most important, all right? So 75,403 votes were in question during the governorship election. And out of that, 50,000 belong to Gada and Kebe local government area. You know, so it's one of those places where everybody's waiting to see what the results will be from there. So we've already gotten the results from Gada local government area. Kebe was next, and we have to wait till morning to hear that.
All right, so I think we should let you go now. We'll wait till daybreak to hear results from Sokoto, the final results from Sokoto State. Our correspondent, Kayla Magua, reporting there, telling us that the result from Kebe local government area is being awaited. It was one of the two that we were awaiting just about an hour ago, and the other one has been collated, and they're waiting for Kebe. All right, that's where we are.
That's interesting for Sokoto and all that. Well, it's, I'm surprised that they have such a huge number of registered voters in one local government. You know, 75%. I mean, 75,000.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
in between two local government areas.
It's encouraging. You know, that means the mobilization there, awareness, political awareness is.
Or rather, the 1st of January there is as lengthy as
everybody is 1st of January.
Well, unfortunately, that has to sit in the file of speculation. So, but that's it. That's the result. But I want you to go back to the thoughts that you're trying to grind out on before we went to our correspondent.
Yes, about security.
Yes.
Like I said, there have to be clear-cut guidelines, because when the IG was announcing this time that, they have instructions, they've been told to be patriotic, professional, neutral, but steadfast and firm. I was relieved that, yes, there will be a difference this time around. Maybe the man has seen there are some lapses there. Like every normal endeavor, it can't be perfect, but okay. But looking at all these things we're seeing, it means that, well, there's nothing happening. Just the usual things to say, the right noises and all that, but like he said, all motion, no movement.
Mr. Wednesday, let me ask you. So it appears that the narrative or the results we had with the involvement of the security agencies happen to be sort of the same, you know, in the presidential election and the governorship election. And many people put that outcome on the excuse that because the numbers were too much, we didn't have enough policemen to execute this. So it appeared that people just wanted to excuse that away. But we saw a concentration of just 6 states, and the coin landed, or it appeared to have landed on the same phase.
Yeah, because one is that if you do a simple, this election thing is a simple thing, but we make it look as if, you know, having to escort having heavy security men and all that. Even in, for example, River State, for instance, there's still military, they're still fighting over there, you know, and they're not even winning because of the security situation there. they keep shifting the election and the supplementary election in the River State. So all across the country, if the police were really given a free hand to do their jobs without involvement of the military has no business being involved in escorting election materials. It is wrong. If you have to escort election materials, let the police do their job. When you see the military on the road, it's like a foreign army has come to attack us. That's the impression you get. So the police, the military are now doing traffic job. Meanwhile, they are fighting, their mates are fighting in Maiduguri and all that. And, you know, our borders are porous.
That's large, they're mates. Yeah.
Yes. You know, it's annoying. When you see them on the
what can be done on the part of the federal government going forward to show good faith as far as security during elections is concerned?
The security situation is when the politicians, you know, have a good, you know, they are reorientated on the, you know, they shouldn't struggle for election. This is not a do or die affair, because they're the ones that send thugs. In my own, you know, state, during the presidential election, Federal House of Rep and all that, National Assembly, Ebonyi State.
Ebonyi, okay.
Some group from another state, Enugu State, went to one of these local governments, brought in by a contestant in the, I think, House of Rep or Senate, to disrupt elections, to carry election materials. Unfortunately for them, the security apparatus set up by the governor and all that apprehended them, seized their vehicle, deflated them. The IG of police, I mean, the CP was called. In fact, they wanted to release them because they wore police and army uniform and came to invade that local government because of that politician. But the governor, you know, told the CP that he's interested in the case, he must not release those people, you know, to bring them to the state capital, so that the following, after the elections, for proper, you know, treatment, investigation, because they wanted to release them. So one of his governor's boys reported that, hey, they're planning to release these people. So it is the politicians that invite these thugs that they need to be, you know, I mean, make them to change their attitude towards elections. So
if it was wrong for the military to be a part of the elections, at the point where the president says we're going to engage the services of the military, whose responsibility was it to say no?
No, you see, because we need to protest. Say, Mr. President,
no, according to the laws of the land, we don't just protest because we don't like it.
No, because nobody can say no to the president, but we can say no to the president.
If it's legal, then there's nothing, nothing the people can do.
The lawyers can take the president to court.
Sorry, I think at this point in time, the most important thing that I think is missing, the issue of accountability. Nobody's been brought to book for all these lapses and omissions, and they're serious. Because, for instance, I don't see any point if the IG makes all that noise, and we hear, like I said, that somebody was shot. What happened? It's not about saying, oh, we are going to establish a commission of inquiry and all over what. It's so simple. Were the right structures in place to ensure that safety existed for the person in question, who, of course, was carrying out a public duty that was very material and sensitive to a particular community? No, because, of course, if there was such arrangement in place, nobody would be so bold as to even think about attacking that kind of entourage, if there was any such entourage. But my problem there is we have enough of the numbers. But like I said, nothing is being done. It's just, I don't know who to blame for this, because it's so obvious. But like I said, in such instances, if it's overseas, maybe you see this person will resign. So, but we haven't got to that extent here. So to the extent we haven't got that, then why don't we go on with our primitive way of saying that, okay, fine, if you don't, like your Bible will say, if you don't know how to say take, then I will know how to say give me. It's the same thing. If the people in charge, they pretend that they don't know anything as wrong, we as the citizenry, through our representatives, we should go beyond making noises in the parliament and all that, and ensure that these people are brought to book. If one or two people like that are okay, what happened? Who's the commissioner in that state? Or who was the deputy commissioner in charge of operations and all that? How could the woman have been exposed? Then what is the essence of saying you deploy this, you deploy that? You couldn't just safeguard that ordinary entourage. I mean, to use the word ordinary, I'm trying to use the word ordinary, that at least somebody was just going. If she could be picked with so much ease and with reckless abandon, then why bother to deploy all that? Because like in
so
those days,
you're saying we the people, when
yes.
we have House of Reps,
yes,
members, we have representatives.
Representatives, what are they doing about it? Because somebody has to be brought to account. These things, they keep on happening. And like they say, as it was in the beginning, is now, if we are not careful, it will be ever shall be.
Yeah.
If the deterrent factor is not there. Because if there is nothing to deter anyone, it will happen again 4 years' time.
All right.
Let me share my experience before please.
We have about 5 minutes before news break, but I'd like you'll share your experience, but I want to chip this in. So we're calling on we're calling for reforms, but other pundits have said, look,
not even reforms. We have enough laws to take care of this. Enforcement.
Okay.
The laws are there.
So it appears that those who are supposed to make these changes, for instance, the political class, seem to be benefiting from these lapses. And so it's sort of disincentive for them to push for these changes in any case.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we can't continue like this. Who needs to rally this?
Okay, that's why I said let's start.
No, I would like him to respond because,
okay.
I mean, yes.
Now, we can say, look, the courts, okay, can bring about some of these changes. The laws were written by lawyers. Somebody like Sonny can challenge some of this thing in court. It could be a rallying this thing. Take this to court. Like one SAN took, something to court about, these schools cut off marks for some schools.
Yes, Abakova.
Yeah, yes, or this Abakova. He challenged it in court, and it got judgment. And they have to, the schools, the unity schools must obey. You don't have a different cutoff point for different people. The same thing can apply in all of this. Somebody can challenge that the INEC in court concerning some of these matters. And then there will be a clear-cut judgment on that. Right now, even when the president gives an order, say, go and do this, military, go and do this, a lawyer can challenge that in court. And then put in constitutional distance that there's no way that even INEC Act states that military must be in this. So let's use the court to change some of these things that we need to, these reforms that we are asking for, by someone challenging it. But if no one challenges it, is it me or is it another person and all that? I can also hire a lawyer to challenge this process. So it starts with someone challenging something so that the Constitution can be tested.
But is the judiciary and the legal system strong enough to carry it?
That is the thing.
I think it even has to do with the kind of political system we run. Too much power is centered in the hands of those who shouldn't have it. And of course, there's hardly any checks and balances. Okay, now for instance, going back to the same security thing so that we don't seem to be wasting too much time on it. Their duty should be to protect. But on the contrary, we hear different stories. That at times they are even there to intimidate their voters. When, of course, for instance, like what we saw, the role we expected of them, for instance, to do to secure the professor who was hit by bullets, that didn't happen. But instead, probably you'll find them in places where they shouldn't be. Then, so what is the essence of deploying them? But they need to be deployed too because of security. But unfortunately, they have let us down. And that's why I'm saying the issue of accountability should start from there. Is it from the level of the commissioner or the deputy commissioner in charge of operations? Something has to happen. When people begin to see these things, we'll move. But once there is no deterrent, like I said, as it was in the beginning, is now. And ever shall be. It will go on. Wow. And the beat goes on. It will like, because once there is no deterrent, you don't lose anything. You see that those who have done this thing, they've done it successfully and it works for them. Normally, you don't change a winning team.
All right.
continue doing
Absolutely,
stuff like that.
something has to happen. We're waiting to see what happens with the collation of results in the states where the elections have taken place yesterday. But in the meantime, we'll take another break. We'll go into our news studio to bring you news track.